Crossings is the first prototype of a concept for dealing with the three-dimensional potential of interactivity in the Internet.
In Crossings, you move around a virtual landscape modelled on a mountain valley on the France-Germany border. Structures in the landscape offer access to information out on the web.
As we move along, what you can notice is the relationship between the landscape and the image itself. Here it looks like a deconstructed pattern, but as I turn around, I think you can make out really how simple the idea is of taking the topographical map from which we drew all of our information, and this then is laid on top of this otherwise texture or wireframe structure and gives us this wonderful kind of sensual feel of the landscape. The idea was to create an environment and then invite people over the network, designers, architects, landscape architects, artists, etc., to bring their own ideas of ways in which information, knowledge maps, if you like, could be layered into this space.
Up ahead we'll see one of the interventions that I've been working on as a prototype within the Crossings context. This is a virtual village relating to the disciplines of architecture and landscape architecture, where each built form and open space relates to some homepage, some source of information on the Internet. And as we enter any building, it connects us directly through the Internet to that information. The size of each building relates to how long the information has been available. The color is a mapping of a categorization across this information. And as we look at it as a whole, we can start to get some sense of the scope of this discipline as it resides on the Internet. This village changes over time as people are using this library. The size changes, the number of buildings change as more information is added. It is a very dynamic environment, much like the cities we live in.
This is not a game. In other words, we're trying to embody knowledge and a way of decoding knowledge in a less offensive and hostile way, and one that's a complement to everyday living and is enjoined to the kind of experience we have in the real world. One of the things that we discover people do whenever they spend a little time on this machine is they always want to go to the ends of the earth to see what sits at the other side. It's a kind of compelling urge to wander off into the abyss. There we are. That's the